Yeah, I finally think I'm losing my mind. Let's talk about it. Let's chat. Put your listening ears on and talk to John. How are y'all doing? John here to for Gaming, and we're doing a Let's Chat because if you're new to the channel, we do this every so often. Like a feature on my channel. I chat about stuff that's going on in my life. I chat about the channel. Sometimes I just chat about whatever the hell I want. But I enjoy doing them, and I usually get positive feedback on them, so, you know, they're a staple. But yeah, one of the things I do use them for is sometimes just kind of letting people know where I am in my brain. As I said, it's like a weird form of therapy for me to do this, because you know yourself, sometimes you gotta vent. And no better place to do it than in front of a camera. That's a lie. Talking to actually someone face to face is definitely a better way of doing this. But for me, in my current circumstances, this is probably the only real way I can do it. So let's chat. Let's chat it out. So, like, we'll say, and again, everything I'm going to talk about right now is completely inconsequential compared to, you know, the pandemic on a whole. The lives that have been lost, the people who go out and risk their own lives to protect other people, all frontline workers, all that shit. I know what I'm going to talk about is completely minuscule. Like, in the broad scheme of things, it really is. And I'm aware of that just before someone, you know, comes in and says, this guy's complaining about nothing. I know. I know. But I'm trying to just kind of say where my brain is at right now. And I just kind of want to nip that in the bud. That I'm aware that a lot of other people have much more problems. I'm completely fine with saying that all my problems are in my own brain, and they're kind of selfish, honestly. But they are still affecting me, and I just want to talk about them in case other people are feeling the same way. And, you know, sometimes it's just nice to know, because I don't have the answers. I really don't. Because I'm an idiot, and I'm not a trained psychiatrist. But I know from personal experience that it can be good just watching someone who's going through something that you're going through, that you're going through kind of privately, and you just kind of just... It's nice to know that someone else is kind of going through what you're going through. So when the pandemic started, and it was like, you gotta stay in your home. You can't go outside. You have to socially distance. You can't, your life as you know it has changed for possibly 2 years. Who knows when the vaccines will finally be, when we're in a state where we can actually start living properly again. Who knows? But hopefully by June or July. I have no idea. When I got that news initially, there was a little bit of, well, I guess I'll be living my life like I usually do, because I'm kind of a hermit, a little bit. I don't get me wrong, I have a lot of friends, and I go out most weekends drinking. Not anymore, obviously, but back in the day, and we all meet up. In the day, I mean, before the pandemic. And I meet up with my friends nearly every weekend, and even that has continued. It's not the same, which I'll get into, but it's continued on these Zoom calls that we do every Saturday. Every Saturday, religiously, my group of friends from Turles, the Turles Mafia, we get together and we just kind of Zoom it out. And sometimes we drink, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we play Among Us, sometimes we don't. But that has definitely helped. But it's not the same. But yeah, I was basically like, this is normal for me. Monday through Friday, have to stay at home. Used to that. Before the pandemic, all I was doing, because I had recently enough quit my job. And I went back living in... It's a house owned by my parents that's on the property, but it's a separate house. So I'm basically a basement dweller. I'm a basement dweller that won the lottery. That instead of living in your parents' basement to get away from them, I have a separate house. So I'm unbelievably fortunate in that sense, especially now during the pandemic. And I've told this story before, and I'm going to tell it again. But the reason why I quit my job isn't laziness or whatever, because I am an inherently lazy person. It's not that I don't like working. It was because I genuinely was starting to go wrong. I hated my job. I had, again, I've told this story before, I had a tech lead who was directly above me, who hated my fucking guts. And every single day I worked there, she made it her personal business to fucking make me feel like this big. And what didn't help was that I did like 4 years in, got my bachelor's degree in games design and development. And I immediately, through a reference of one of my friends who already worked there, got this job immediately coming out of college. And because I don't drive or whatever, I had to move to Kilkenny to do the job. And I was living on my own in like it was actually nice. It was a nice little apartment. For one person, it was fine. Small, but one person, it was on High Street. It was actually a very nice apartment, which I made shit of because I'll get into it. I was going a little bit wrong. It was like my pandemic isolation before it ever like became a thing that everybody had to do. So I basically was working Kilkenny, getting shat on every time I went into work, and it was a high pressure job. It was a job where companies' money was in your hands, and if you couldn't solve their problem, there could have been legal ramifications. So when at one stage I have a tech lead that hates me, but I have to keep going to them because number one, I was actually bad at my job. So like, at the end of the day, she had every right to not like me. But she fucking made it apparently clear that it wasn't just the fact that I was bad at my job, but she didn't like me. She took me aside one day and just said, I kind of just don't like you as a person. She said that to me, basically. And I was like, okay, that's going to be tough to deal with. So I basically was like, I couldn't sleep because and I've said this before, and I mean it in the sense that I didn't want it to be tomorrow. Because I didn't want to have to go in and face her. I didn't want to have to face like the 5 cases that I just couldn't solve that like had to be solved. And I went to my tech lead. They'd help me, but like they'd fucking belittle me and call me a fucking idiot the entire time. And it was just, I was in a place where I didn't want it to be tomorrow. And not in a like a, you know, in my own life sort of a way. I never got to that fucking place. But it was like, I legitimately was like, fuck my life, like at all times. And that's when I started the YouTube channel, and that's when I started Twitch. No, not really Twitch. It was actually I was streaming on YouTube, and that was the one thing I had. And that's why I love this channel, because I made this channel to deal with like, so it's just so I had something, because I was also not leaving the house. I knew nobody who lived in Kilkenny, and I always find it weird. I've had my friend group, a lot of my friends I met in college, and there's a few of them that I'm still friends with from secondary school, and the group somehow merged together. So like it was great, but I haven't had to make like proper like in-person friends since like college. So like when you're living alone in Kilkenny and you want to go out for drinks, what do? Do you just go to a bar on your own, sit in the corner and hope some stranger comes up and talks to you? Like, what do? Do you know what I mean? I was literally like, what's the point of going to a bar on my own? I'd be bored out of my mind. So I would basically just like stay at home and like do fuck all, and I was losing my mind. And the house was going into disrepair around me because I was getting, not like, you know, not in the clinical sense, but you know, just in the normal, everybody can go through this. I was getting a little bit depressed, and I was just like, fuck everything. I don't feel like cleaning up. I don't feel like I will wallow. You know what I mean? Because who gives a shit? Like, nobody's coming over here, and I hate being here anyway. So fuck it all. So I completely like. Anyway, I got out of that situation. I actually didn't mean to talk about that as long as I did. I got out of that situation, and I moved back home. And thankfully, I was back home during the pandemic, is what I was getting at. Because Jesus Christ, if I was still living in Kilkenny, and I actually couldn't leave the house and stuff like that, I would have gone wrong. I was on the cusp of going wrong. I would have fully gone wrong. I know I would have. So I appreciate my parents letting me live here. and I'll pay it forward when I'm doing a course right now to get into a job in IT. I'm doing pretty well in it, so I've already got a few of my badges, and it's over in It's over in November, and my plan is to get like an IT job after that, and move out and stop being a burden. And like, if I have any sort of disposable income, I'm gonna fucking send my parents on fucking holidays or something. Like it has to be done. Like I will pay it forward. But it's just recently. So I thought like, okay, I've been through this before. I can do this. But man, recently, it has been fucking with my brain. Like I'm getting back into that stage of what I was feeling like in Kilkenny. Even though because I meet my friends on Zoom, not the same. It really isn't. You need social interaction. And I love my parents, but like, you need more than that, for months and months and months on end. You know what I mean? You need more than that. And the people of the Republic of Players and the people that I know from just gaming in general have actually really helped me. And I thank all of them. I won't name names specifically. Obviously, the Republic of Players, you know who they are. But like all the other people, I won't name individually because I'm afraid I'll leave someone out. And you all mean the world to me. But you know who you should know who you are. You know what I mean? You should know who you are. And even if I haven't, by the way, like said that into you in months, that's just how I am. I'm terrible at keeping in contact with people. But if you've helped me along the way at all, you don't understand what sort of high regard I have with you in my brain. Like, legitimately, I do. And that's another thing I get really, because a lot of people always like try and help me out and stuff, and I feel like I don't think I paid that forward enough as well, but that's just a story for another time. And I think I do nothing. That's what it's come to. And I used to always do kind of very little, but recently I've just been doing nothing. Like, and I'm not talking about doing the course, because that's like, yeah, I'm doing the course, but then I'm just doing nothing else. And then when I do YouTube, that's fine, it's like a hobby. And when I do sometimes stream, I know that is technically doing something, but like, it's just like, I feel like I'm at nothing, to the point where like, I'm sitting there at 7, and it's like, I should probably stream. And I've gotten into such a routine of just doing fucking nothing that I just kind of go, I'm going to say we both know that's not going to happen, which sounds insane, but if you know me, there's definitely at least 2 people in there. But we both agree that it's not going to happen. So it's been scaring me a little bit recently. That like, I'm getting so lazy and so used to just, I feel like those fucking guys, and I've looked like one for a while, but I'm starting to feel like those fucking guys in Wall-E that are in the fucking chairs. Fucking, you know what I mean? That's what I'm starting to feel like. They're just fucking consuming oxygen and giving very little else back. So I've been feeling like that for months, honestly. And I don't really say anything. What I do is I disappear. And I'm a bad friend. And I'm a bad person to know when I get like that. So it's like, you want me to do something. And I'll placate and I'll go, sure, I'll do that. And then you won't hear from me for 3 weeks. It's not because I wanted to trick you. It's not because I don't like you. I fucking probably love you. But it's just that I have become accustomed to just doing nothing. And it's scary. It really is scary. Like, it's the point where, here's one for you. I'm doing the course, right? And sometimes reluctantly, sometimes not. I've been getting up and I've been going to the course every day. And I was really looking forward to this week off. I had a week off for Easter last week. This is the Monday. I'm back tomorrow, right? Really looking forward to this week off. And do you know what I got for the week off? Staying in bed because I had no reason to get up. In my brain, I had no reason to get up. Watching YouTube, not doing stuff or my own YouTube or streaming, and having this weird anxiety that I'm not doing anything, even though just do something. But I couldn't. I was like glued to the couch, and that was making me anxious. So I'm weirdly looking forward to going back to the course, even though I was so looking forward to this week off. But it's like it opened my eyes to the fact that I just do nothing, even though I could be doing so much. And that must mean that there's a fundamental problem with me, my brain, and my routine. So I'm making out, basically where I'm coming from is, I'm making out a schedule. This is how, by the way, in case other people are feeling like this, I feel your pain, right? Here's how I think I'm going to try and solve it. And what I do want is I want suggestions from people who feel like they've gone through this, are going through this, what they think they should do, people who may have gone through this, and how they got out of it. And anybody, even if you haven't a fucking clue, it's like, stop being lazy, you fucking cunt. I want to hear that too, because maybe I do need to hear that, honestly. But my idea is I'm going to set a schedule, not just for like, I get so worried. I'm like, oh, I said I was going to do this on YouTube, but I've already missed 2 days. Oh no. And I love all of you. I do. But like, I act as if the world is wondering where 2O for Gaming is. And I feel bad, even though there's probably like 3 people who are like, hey, you didn't release a video in a few days, are you okay? Which is lovely. But like, I feel like I've let everybody down. I said I was going to release a video every week, and I haven't released a video in 3 days. Like, that's how my fucking brain works. And I just get anxious. I don't get sad, I don't get like angry or anything. I just get caught up, and then I'm like, I'm just going to watch stuff on YouTube for today. I'm going to take it out of my brain. I don't even really play games anymore. Because in some part of me, I'm like I just got Abe's Odyssey today came out. I haven't played it yet. Not Abe's Odyssey, the new one. I'm like, I probably should somehow make content out of this, but I'd have to get the Elgato working, and I'd love to just play it, but I really should make content out of it. Well, I haven't played that. And I'm so lazy, I haven't tried to figure out a way of bringing my PS5 content over to my PC to record it. So it's just a game I'm not playing. A game I'm really looking forward to playing, I haven't played. I don't know. It'll be fine, just sit down on the couch and watch YouTube and forget about all of it. Anyway, I'm going to set a schedule, and this isn't just for YouTube, not just for Twitch. I'm going to set a schedule for like, I swear to God the schedule is going to be like, get out of bed. Do a normal routine. Like, then go to college. Then relax for an hour. Then do this and this. This and this. I'm going to actually map out every hour of my fucking week. And I don't care. You're going to say, oh, John, that's just putting too much pressure on you. No. If I don't do that, I do nothing. That's what I'm going to do. And hopefully that helps. That's. I was watching a video of a guy who made a load of points. Can't think of his name, but he was going through something similar, but he was the opposite. He was overstimulated by stuff being at home, of like all the shit he was reading on Twitter and all this stuff. And he said, do you know what I realized? I just gotta take a break. And I was like, it was a good video until I realized we have the complete opposite problem. All I do is take breaks. Oh. It was still a good video. I wish I remembered who it was, but it was just a random video I saw. But yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do. Quickly on the content. There is going to be content. The way I'm going to think of it, the way I think I'm going to work into my schedule is pretty much all my content is going to be from Twitch. It's going to be, because all I was doing, because I went to the stage of I'm editing less, so you're getting like full runs of Isaac and like full runs of Tarkov. So now what I'm going to do is not record that shit separately. I'm going to have a day where I play several runs of Tarkov on stream, and then I'll do it run by run and put them up on my YouTube channel. So I need to get the Twitch back going, so there might be another few days for this content. There's other stuff I'm editing, because there will be edited content too. I'm still playing Among Us with the boys on the weekend. We started back on some new airship. They'll be more edited, kind of like how my old Among Us videos, so they'll be sprinkled in there. And I have a Dark Souls stream that I did. I actually streamed last week, so that'll be. I'll make that into content because I recorded it. So my Dark Souls randomizer was actually a lot of fun. There'll be episodes coming very soon onto the channel. And then when I finally get more Isaac, I think I have one more Isaac episode I forgot to upload, so that'll probably just randomly get thrown in there too. And then when I have content from my streaming, I can then know what I have, and I can start making a schedule for YouTube again after that. Because again, schedule for YouTube is I'm experimenting with how I want to do things, and then hopefully come to the right conclusion. And that last scenario where I was doing 2 videos a week, 2 videos a day, it wasn't that it was too much. It was just that I never actually made a backlog, because again, I'm chronically lazy. So I was doing that thing which I hated, and I used to do it before, and it never turns out well, where I'm recording content the night before it goes up. So I'm like, oh shit, I have to record an Isaac episode and a Tarkov episode. It's like 7 in the evening. I was going to stream, but I need to record both. Oh, fuck yeah. And then I was actually getting them up, but then it's just, I burn out when I do that. So I can't do that anymore. I need some sort of backlog, and I think making the Twitch be the episodes and then just transferring them over to YouTube, I think that's the only way I'm going to make it work. Because I'm going to also do other things. Like the schedule is going to include, exercising. I plan on going back into exercise. You might know by looking at me, but I wasn't this fat. I've actually gained a load of weight back from freaking pandemic, because I was actually going to the gym right up until the pandemic for about 5 months, and I was still fat, but I was getting slightly more trim, but I've doubled up. I'm probably bigger than I've ever been now because of the pandemic, and I just got super lazy. Well, I'm going to start exercising again, because I think that'll be good for my brain as well, and I'm going to try and just drink water, and that's the only real plan for that at the minute. And obviously, stop eating shite. That goes without saying. But also I'm going to try and dabble in game development a little bit, because I do want to get back to it. But again, it's all I have to. It's all good saying that I want to do these things. No, I need to sit down and write a schedule for my entire week, and I'm going to do that pretty much after this video is recorded. That's the plan. Start tomorrow. Don't start at the start of a week, because it's all be like, oh sure, it's Tuesday now, I'll start next week. And then you don't do it Monday, and you're like, oh we're not starting at the start of a week. You know what I mean? So, no, starting tomorrow. Anyway, I've rambled on too long. This video's a bit longer than usual, but I had to get stuff off my chest. How are you feeling? How are you all feeling? I hope you're all doing good. If you are going through the same things I'm going through, just try and change, I suppose. I can only give you what I'm trying to do. If you're feeling like this, then obviously something is wrong, and you're going to have to somehow get the motivation to change. I'm still just a guy talking about what he wants to do, so I still technically haven't found that motivation. I found the motivation to talk about it, but I have the idea to change, and it still hasn't manifested yet. But I'm hoping now it will. And it's not like it's basically just so I can change my brain, so I can actually wake up and go, oh, I've several things to do today. I think I will get out of bed. You know what I mean? That's all I want. That's all I want from stage 1. Then we'll work on happiness. It's a joke, by the way. Anyway. Yeah, leave a comment down below. If you got this far in the video, put the word I actually don't fucking know, lads. Put the word change? I think I've said that one. That must have been my word so many times. Put the word change in the comments down below. Is there anything in your life you'd want to change? Is there anything you would like me to change about myself? Let me know. Honestly, outside perspectives is what I need to hear. And as always, I love you, and I'll see you next time. See ya!